Welcome to Spectrum News within the week. I am Rachel David Wines, coming to you live from Uyo, the capital city of Akwa Ibom State. Let's take a look at the headlines. President Tinubu says his administration will tackle difficulties in mining sector. Governor Moina receives Beacon of Hope Award for sterling performance since assumption of office. Plus, World Bank says conflict in Middle East could deliver a dual shock to commodity markets. We'll bring you details of the stories and many more in a moment. First, M&Es within the week this week is Nigeria's leader, President Bola Tinubu, who has hinted that the challenges prevailing for solid mineral sector will be a thing of the past as his administration is determined to tackle the difficulties inhibiting the ease of doing business in the sector. He also assured those interested in investing in Nigeria that his government was determined to create a conducive atmosphere for genuine businesses to thrive. Tinubu made this known at the second edition of the African Natural Resources and Energy Investment Summit in Abuja. He warned that the government would no longer tolerate criminal adventurers and their criminal collaborators. According to him, the government will do everything possible to lower the risk of investment by overcoming the temptation to interfere in the legitimate business operation of duly licensed miners. Meanwhile, President Tinubu during the week said ministers in his cabinet will only retain their offices based on their performances, which will be reviewed periodically. Tinubu made this session when he declared open the 2023 cabinet retreat for ministers, presidential aides, permanent secretaries and top government functionaries held at the State House Conference Center, Abuja. The president noted that his special advisor on policy coordination, Hadiza Osman, will spearhead the result delivery unit and will closely monitor the performances of the ministry's department and agencies across the eight priority areas. He also made it clear that the performances would be evaluated and accountability upheld. Away from that, former President Muhammadu Buhari in the course of a week said the country would have paid $15 billion if it had lost the case against the international firm Process and Industrial Development Limited (PNID). He lamented that such monetary loss could be substituted to finance key infrastructural projects among others. Reports say following a 2010 agreement between the PNID and the federal government, the firm pledged to build a gas processing plant in Nigeria. Recall that in a ruling on October 23rd, Justice Robert Knowles of a business and property court in London held that the process through which had PNID secured the contract was fraudulent. Reacting to the matter, Buhari recalled that during his administration in 2015, he asked his former Chief of Staff, Abba Kyari, and as well Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, to get the country a fair hearing, and he noted that the firm owned by Irish intermediaries who understood the systematics of the Nigerian market won the contract to build a gas processing plant in the Cross River State. In a separate development, the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the February 25 presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, within a week said the October 26 verdict of the Supreme Court, though final, leaves much to be desired. The former vice president stated these at a press briefing today, within the week in the nation's capital, Abuja. He insisted that the then candidate of All Progressives Congress APC, Bola Tinubu, was not qualified to contest the February 2023 presidential poll. accusing the Supreme Court and the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) of supporting illegality, identity theft, impersonation, forgery and certificate and perjury. Atiku added that when people lose confidence in the electoral process, democracy is on life support. Now from the red chambers, where the Senate during the week approved the sums of $7.8 billion and 100 million euros in President Bola Tinubu's proposed 2022-24 borrowing plan. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio met the approval during the plenary. Recall that the President had written to the Senate requesting consideration and early approval of the 2022-24 external borrowing plan to ensure prompt implementation of projects. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Senate in the course of a week also passed the 2.17 trillion naira 2023 supplementary appropriation bill recently sent to it by President Bola Tinubu. The passage followed the adoption of a report of the harmonized settings of both chambers and a bill as submitted by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Appropriations, Senator Solomon Olamilekan Adeola, APC Ogun West. Recall that President Bola Tinubu's administration submitted and 2.1 trillion naira budget to the National Assembly after the Federal Executive Council's approval. Key components of the budget include 210 billion naira for wage award for civil servants, 605 billion naira for national security and defense, 300 billion naira for maintenance of bridges, especially the Echo Bridge, and 400 billion naira cash for cash transfer to vulnerable households, 200 billion naira for seed and agricultural input and equipment, and 18 billion naira for Independent National Electoral Commission to conduct off-season elections. In a related development, the Deputy Senate President Jibrin Barau, in the course of the week, said the 2.17 trillion naira supplementary budget is meant to address new policies of the government not captured in the principal budget. Speaking during a debate on the supplementary budget request by President Tinubu, Barau explained that it is normal for a new government to request for a new appropriation. Barau, who represents Kano North Senatorial District, argued that the last supplementary considered was forwarded by the last administration, while he commended President Tinubu for taking time to study the challenges facing the nation before forwarding the supplementary budget. In the meantime, the Senate within a week said it has uncovered how the board of directors of Nigerian Security Printing and Minting Company PLC allegedly paid a 14 billion naira salary increase to its staff members without the approval of the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission. The chairman of the Senate Public Accounts Committee, Ahmed Wadada, disclosed this during a session in the Senate in Abuja when the management of NSPMC appeared before the committee concerning the 2019 report of the Auditor General of the Federation. The report of the Auditor General revealed that between 2016 and 2019, NSPMC's Board of Directors approved 14 billion naira for salaries and allowances without the approval of the Salaries and Wages Regulatory Body. In his response, the Deputy Whip of the Senate, Mwebonyi Onyeka, explained that government money was spent without due process, adding that the misappropriated funds should be refunded. And now to the Green Chambers, where the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, during the week said the National Assembly was planning legislation that would regulate artificial intelligence (AI) to curb identity theft, among others. He said these at the 7th convocation ceremony organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in collaboration with the University of Benin held in Abuja. Abbas stressed that AI can create many benefits such as better healthcare, safer and cleaner transport, more efficient manufacturing, and cheaper and more sustainable energy. The speaker further stressed that integrating AI into education would present a transformative shift in how teaching and learning are conducted. Meanwhile, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Abbas Tajuddin, has also assured that the President Bola Tinubu-led government will ensure that Nigerians reap the benefit of their God-given natural resources. Speaker Abbas, in a statement by his Special Advisor Media and Publicity, Musa Krishi, stated these while playing host to the Emir of Agwatashi in Nasarawa State, Abubakar Apeshi in Abuja. The Speaker, who disclosed that President Tinubu's administration would work in collaboration with the 10th National Assembly, said he is aware of the recent discovery of a crude oil reserve in Nasarawa State, particularly within the Agwatashi Emirate, following extensive geodetic survey by experts from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited Research. He expressed confidence in the commitment of President Tinubu to make Nigeria's natural resources work for the benefit of the citizens. In the meantime, the House of Representatives, in the course of a week, removed the controversial 5 billion naira presidential yacht from the 2023 supplementary budget. The budget was passed by the House after adopting the report submitted by the chairman of the Appropriations Committee, Abubakar Bichi. The Committee of Supply considered the recommendations of the Appropriations Committee and passed the bill. Bichi, after the passage of the budget, spoke with journalists announcing that the controversial presidential yacht was removed by the committee. He stated that the 5 billion naira was moved to the student loans, increasing the allocation for student loans to 10 billion naira as against 5.5 billion naira. Still from the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives Public Accounts Committee, PAC, within a week summoned the leadership of the Nigeria Communications Satellite Limited, NICOMSAT, Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRE, and other government agencies to address a significant 20.853 billion naira audit query. Other agencies included in the action are the Nigeria Export Processing Zones Authority, NEPZA, and 3 other entities. The committee, led by Bamidele Salam, issued a 72-hour ultimatum for the agencies to appear before it. Salam emphasized that the decision followed the agency's absence during a committee sitting aimed at addressing the audit queries against them. He also issued a stern warning, stating that the invitation represents the final notice before a warrant of arrest could be issued against the head of the agencies. On judicial matters, the Federal High Court in Abuja had given former Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, until January 25th to appear in court to explain circumstances surrounding the $53 million judgment debt arising from the Paris Club reform. Justice Iyaikor, in a short ruling, gave Emefiele another opportunity to appear in court in person, or an arrest warrant will be issued against him. The development followed a plea by Emefiele and CBN's counsel, Audu Anuga San, that all efforts to ensure that the former CBN's governor appearance is ready in court on the order of the court were unsuccessful, as he was still in custody. On electoral matters, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and the National Assembly during the week pledged their commitment to ensure credible elections in Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi states. The decision was reached during the inaugural meeting of the Senate and House of Representatives Committees on Electoral Matters held in Abuja. The INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, while addressing members of the National Assembly who were present at the meeting, presented the Commission's plans and preparations towards hitch-free, transparent, and credible elections in the 3 states. Yakubu noted that a number of permanent voter cards PVCs collected shall be used for the computation of the margin of lead principle. Elsewhere, the resident electoral commissioner for the Independent National Electoral Commission, Gabriel Longpet, in the course of a week disclosed that 108,000 registered voters will not vote during the November 11th governorship election in Kogi State. Lumpet said the figure represents the number of registered voters who did not show up during the 4-week window INEC opened for the collection of permanent voters' cards previously during the last collection exercise, which lasted from the September 10th to October 9, 2023. The Kogi Reg further revealed that as at the close of the collection date on October 9, only 20,000 PVCs had been collected out of outstanding 128,000 uncollected before the general election of February 2023. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoino had been honored with the Beacon of Hope Award for his sterling performance in barely 5 months of his assumption in office. Courtesy of the Arise Agenda blueprint of his administration, the national president of the Apostolic Church, Apostle Samson Igwe, conferred the award on Governor Eno at a service marking the Iconofield Annual Convention and dedication of an ultra-modern field temple of the church held at the Iconofield headquarters, Norcom Icono local government area. Speaking at the event, Governor Eno appreciated the Apostolic Church and, by extension, the entire Christendom for acknowledging the strides which has earned him the award. He commended the church for the support given to him during the electioneering period that saw to his emergence as a state leader and pledged not to disappoint them. Also speaking, the immediate past governor of Domimano, who was also honored at the event with a Pillar of Development Award for his enormous support to the church and his outstanding role as the best center of the development and peace the church and the entire state is currently enjoying, expressed his appreciation to the church for honoring him and to the incumbent for being a governor for the church. Earlier, the progenitor of the church, Project Justice Inyang Okoro, had thanked Governor Omoino for honoring God and the church with the presence at the event and extolled the immediate past Governor Domimano for his enormous support towards the building and approving construction of an access road to it. Government House correspondent January reports that Justice Okoro also thanked all those who made various contributions towards the building project in cash, materials and services, assuring them of God's unending blessings. In the meantime, Akwa Ibom State within the week unveiled a comprehensive plan to celebrate the 2023 Christmas. Unveiling the month-long plan at the Ibom Icon Hotel in Gafra Soto, the Commissioner for Culture and Tourism, Charles Odor, said the 2023 edition of the Christmas Park, formerly Christmas Village, will hold from Friday, December 1st, 2023 through Tuesday, January 2nd, 2024 at the Unity Park, Ododoma Avenue, Uyo. He assured that the event was carefully engineered to showcase the entrepreneurial drive of Governor Moino, as well as ensure that Akwa Ibom becomes more marketable. The Commissioner further hinted that the 2023 edition of the Annual Carol Festival, slated for December 15th at the Unity Park, has as its theme, Arise, Shine, for thy light has come, drawn from Isaiah chapter 60, verse 1, and will be streamed live on the social handles of the state government. He explained that the month-long celebration will offer each local government area selected alphabetically the opportunity to display its talent and unique features while celebrating international days that would be marked in the course of the celebrations. In a goodwill message, the Commissioner for Information in Yemlebong, who is also a member of the event planning committee, assured of his ministry's readiness to partner the Ministry of Culture and Tourism and other stakeholders of the event to ensure all-round success. Still to come in the news, CBN says Nigeria spends 340.84 million forex on education in 6 months. To stay with us. Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. Now to Africa, where U.S. President Joe Biden within a week revealed plans to expel Uganda, Gabon, Niger, and the Central African Republic from the special U.S.-Africa trade program. President Biden said that Niger and Gabon, both of which are currently under military rule following coups in this year, are ineligible for AGOA because they have not established or are not making continual progress towards establishing the protection of political pluralism and the rule of law. He also said that the removal of CAR and Uganda from the program was due to gross violations of internationally recognized human rights by their government. Meanwhile, United States has also said it will reinstate Mauritanians' benefits under the African Growth and Opportunity Act AGOA program following an eligibility review. The U.S. Trade Office said the reinstatement will be done in January next year after the Northwest African country made substantial and measurable progress on worker rights and eliminating forced labor. Mauritania's reinstatement follows U.S. President Joe Biden's announcement to terminate the AGOA benefit for Gabon, Niger, and Uganda and the Central African Republic, CAR. Reports say the trade benefits were suspended in 2019 following concerns over workers' rights violations in Mauritania. Elsewhere, Zambia's government during the week withdrew retirement benefit and privileges from former President Edgar Lungu following his decision to return to active politics. In a press conference, government spokesman Cornelius Mwitwa said the former leader would now be treated with equality of the law just like any other senior citizens of the country. Mwitwa noted that it was clearly stated in the law that former president who returned to politics would lose their benefits. Recall that Lungu lost the presidency to Hakainde Hichilema in 2021, after which he announced his retirement. In the meantime, Mali's Tuareg rebels in the course of a week said they have taken over base in the northern city of Kidal vacated by the United Nations UN peacekeepers. The Tuareg coalition claimed victory on social media, saying it was in control of the Kidal base. Reports say it was the third and last camp to be evacuated by the mission in the Kidal region, which has been hit by jihadist and separatist violence. Meanwhile, the UN mission in Mali, MINUSMA, said it ended its presence in Kidal in a hurry after its last convoy of peacekeepers suffered two explosive attacks on their way to Goa, another key town in the north. Still in Africa, Sudan's army within a week said it has determined children who were forced to fight alongside the paramilitary rapid force RSF in the ongoing conflict. Reports say the unspecified number of children are held in Wadi Saidna, northern Khartoum. Recall that on September 15, SAP handed over 30 children who were held as prisoners of war to the International Committee of the Red Cross ICRC. The RSF has been repeatedly accused of violating international laws by recruiting minors in the ongoing conflict in Sudan. On the foreign scene, World Bank during the week warned that an escalation in the conflict between Israel and Hamas could cause oil prices to sharply increase. It said the impact of the conflict has been limited so far, with oil prices rising about 6% and prices of other commodities such as food and metals barely moving. The bank noted that the global economy is much better placed to cope with a major oil price move than the 1970s, but cautions in the escalation of the conflict combined with the disruptions from the Russian invasion of Ukraine could lead to a dual shock. The World Bank also warned that higher oil prices would lead to higher food prices and increasing food insecurity across the world. Meanwhile, the head of the World Health Organization, WHO, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, in the course of a week, welcomed the agreement to sign some seriously injured people from Gaza into Egypt. Dr. Ghebreyesus said the organization had been working with Egypt's health ministry on plans for medical evacuations and will continue to support. He noted that World Health Organization need an immediate acceleration in the flow of medical and permitted into Gaza, adding the hospitals must be protected from bombardment and military use. Elsewhere, Bolivia within the week cut diplomatic ties with Israel over what it describes as aggressive and disproportionate military actions in Gaza. But Deputy Foreign Minister Freddy Mamani said Bolivia called for a ceasefire and would be supplying the blockaded Gaza Strip wheat aid. Reports say Bolivia is the first Latin American country to cut ties with Israel over the war. In the meantime, Israel during the week reportedly hit Gaza's largest refugee camp with renewed airstrikes, prompting UN rights officials to warn that targeting the densely populated residential areas could amount to war crimes. Israel said its fighter jet had carried out the strikes targeting an Hamas command and control complex and eliminating an undefined number of militants. Reports say bombs struck the Jabalia camp for a second time in 2 days, pulverizing buildings and killing dozens of people. Meanwhile, Egyptian Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the course of the week said Egypt is preparing to facilitate the evacuation of nearly 7,000 foreign citizens in Gaza from more than 60 countries via the Rafah crossing. The ministry in a statement noted that the announcement follows a meeting between foreign ministry officials and ambassadors as well as other foreign representatives in Cairo. Egyptian officials say the evacuation plan will be carried out in accordance with Egypt's regulations and governing laws and the role incumbent upon each foreign mission in receiving its nationals from the Rafah crossing. The ministry added that the first foreign nationals were able to cross from Gaza to Egypt and more evacuations are expected to continue over the coming days. And still on the foreign scene, the U.S. within a week dismissed as absurd claims by Russia that an anti-Israel riot at Dagestan airport was organized by Ukraine and the West. In a televised meeting, Russian President Vladimir Putin said the incident had been part of an attempt to spread chaos in Russia. Recall the hundreds stormed the Makhachkala airport ahead of the arrival of a flight from Tel Aviv, waving Palestinian flags and chanting anti-Semitic slogans. On our business news, data from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, during the week revealed that Nigerians seeking admission to foreign universities spent $340.84 million to fund the application between January and June 2023. The figure is according to the CBN's data on the amount spent on education services under the sectorial utilization for transactions valid for foreign exchange. The Apex Bank said in April 2023 a total of $40.54 million was spent in foreign education, while noting that $48.81 million was spent in May 2023. However, in June 2023, there was a significant decrease as the bank stated that $32.61 million was spent. And while the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, within a week denied reports claiming it plans to redenominate the country's local currency. The Director of Corporate Communications, CBN Isab Doberman Matthews, known in a statement titled "No Plan to Redenominate the Naira," Abdulrahman said the attention of the Central Bank of Nigeria was drawn to the wide circulation of a text message suggesting that the bank plans to redenominate the country's legal tender with effect from January 2024. According to him, the narrative which they had refuted before now appears to be gaining traction with several debates on the implication of such policy for the Nigerian economy. Elsewhere, the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) in the course of a week said prices of beef, rice, beans, onions, yam, and other food items increased in September. It stated that in its selected food prices watch report for September 2023, released in Abuja, the report said the average price of 1 kilogram of boneless meat beef increased by 28.08% from 2,199.37 naira, recorded in September 2022 to 2,816 naira 91.91 naira in September 2023. It awarded that the average price of 1 kilogram of local rice also increased by 60.59% on a year-on-year basis from 471.42 naira in September 2022 to 757,006 naira in September 2023, among other commodities. And still in business, operators in Nigeria's oil and gas sector during the week said there was still uncertainty with respect to investment in the industry despite the enactment of a petroleum industry bill about 2 years ago. Speaking at the Oil and Gas Industry Policy Roundtable organized by the Independent Petroleum Producers Group and Oil Producers Trade Section for members of the National Assembly, the chairman IPPG, Abdul Razak Issa, says the challenges in the sector were stifling its growth despite the PIA. He noted that for investment in the oil sector to be set an amendment of the critical aspect of the PIA primarily aimed at establishing a strong regulatory and governance framework to guide the effective implementation of the PIA and the intended benefits of industry-wide reforms must be realized. Still to come in the news, NNL announces new kick-off date for 2023 and 24 season. Do stay with us. Welcome back and many thanks for staying with us. In health, the Nigeria Medical Association NMA Federal Capital Territory chapter during the week called on Nigerians to exercise daily to ensure good health. The vice chairman of the chapter, Ainoy Cook, gave the charge during the association's last day of activities to commemorate the 2023 Physicians Week in Abuja. Ekop said the theme of the week, "This is our change to get it right in the health sector," gave an avenue for doctors to rest, exercise, and give citizens the necessary medical attention, adding that physical exercises help ensure good health. Elsewhere, stakeholders in the pharmaceutical industry in the course of the week called for a boost in the local production of drugs to fortify the health system and improve response and preparedness for epidemics. They noted that there is a need for drug manufacturers to collaborate with the government to increase the capacities of local production. The pharmacist who spoke with journalists noted that a rise in local drugs production issues plaguing the pharmaceutical sector, which have resulted in the scarcity of essential drugs. According to them, local production will promote drug security and reduce the level of importation so that 70% of essential medicines are available. Still in health, medical laboratory scientists within the week cautioned health experts against using only genotype tests to determine the health status of patient, noting that it has a high tendency to present false results. They bemoaned the fact that over-reliance on genotype testing has caused a lot of hazards in the medical laboratory sector in Nigeria. They spoke during the 2023 workshop of the Initiative for Medical Diagnostics Awareness program held at Lagos State University Teaching Hospital with the theme Hemoglobin Nephropathy Diagnosis and Misdiagnosis. The laboratory scientists noted that some tests should be employed in addition to genotype tests for accuracy and precision. Now to sports, where the Nigerian National League (NNL) has fixed Saturday, November 11th as a new kick-off date for the new season. The Chief Operation Officer of the league, Ayo Abdulrahman, discloses on the association's X handle. He advised clubs participating in the league to adhere strictly to the league rules and regulations. Recall that the league was earlier postponed after the participating clubs failed to meet up with laid-down registration guidelines. The NNL has also adopted an abridged format for new season. In the meantime, Haaland has been fined 1 million naira for the unruly behavior of their players and officials against Rivers United. Haaland players and officials encouraged on the pitch to protest a referee's decision during the game. Vanese Millionaires will also play their next home game behind closed doors. Meanwhile, the Owerri club had recently been warned by the league organizers for similar disruptive behavior in a recent home game, hence the decision to sanction them heavily. Still in sports, Dutch winger Anwar El Ghazi has had his contract terminated by Mainz for a social media post about the Israel-Gaza conflict. He was suspended on October 17 by the club after a now deleted post which was perceived to be pro-Palestinian. Bundesliga side Mainz lifted his suspension on Monday but terminated his deal with immediate effect from yesterday. On our entertainment news, TMP official is set to release his long-awaited album, Astro Vibes 2. Scheduled to drop on November 22nd, this album promises to be a musical journey like no other. TMP official's innovative sound combined with his signature voice has reportedly resonated with fans worldwide. Elsewhere, Nigerian director and songwriter Taiwo Egunjobi yesterday announced the first screening of his latest title, Green Fever. Written by Isaac Ayodeji, Green Fever tells the story of an architect named Kunmi Braithwaite, played by Temi Foshudo, and Ireti, his daughter, who suffers from a rare medical condition. Produced by Emiola Fagbenle, the project, which has been described as a noir film, will make its first world debut at the Africa International Film Festival, AFRIF 2023, which will commence on November 5th. And still on entertainment, Nigerian singer Abdulaziz Fashola, popularly known as Naira Marley, and Lagos socialite Samson Eletu, also known as Sam Larry, within a week filed a fundamental rights suit to challenge their continued detention over the death of 27-year-old singer Ilere Olua Aloba, popularly known as Mohbad. Joined as defendant in a suit filed before the Federal High Court in Lagos, where the police and the Lagos magistrate Adeola Olatubosun, who ordered their remand in police custody for 21 days. Reports say Naira Marley and Sam Larry are each demanding 20 million naira damages from the defendants. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTVLive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News within the week. I am Rachel David White. Good afternoon.